Despite being on her third marriage, Meghan continues to interfere in my life. If she does not stop, I will formally approach the royal household and expose questions surrounding her pregnancies and her dirty yacht past.
For years, the world has watched Meghan Markle navigate her life under the relentless glare of public scrutiny. Her every move dissected, her past polished to a shine that seemed unbreakable. But now, in a stunning turn of events, Trevor Engelson, her first husband, the man who knew her before the titles and the tiaras, has stepped forward with an interview that feels less like a conversation and more like a declaration of war. Speaking exclusively to a high-profile outlet, Engelson didn't hold back, delivering a series of accusations that cut straight to the heart of Meghan's carefully curated image. Despite being on her third marriage, he stated flatly, his voice carrying the weight of unresolved grievances. Meghan continues to interfere in my life. If she does not stop, I will formally approach the royal household and expose questions surrounding her pregnancies and her dirty yacht past. These words didn't just echo through tabloid headlines. They rippled into the corridors of power where royal insiders are already whispering about the potential fallout. This isn't mere gossip. It's a direct threat to the narrative Meghan has built, one that positions her as a victim of circumstance rather than the architect of her own controversies. Englason's decision to speak out comes at a peculiar moment. Meghan's life has been a whirlwind of reinvention, from actress to duchess to global advocate. Yet, according to those close to the situation, Englason's patience has worn thin. Sources claim he's endured years of subtle meddling, phone calls from intermediaries, legal nudges over shared assets, even attempts to rewrite their shared history in ways that favor her public persona. It's not about revenge. One associate of Engelson confided, it's about setting the record straight. She's moved on multiple times, but she won't let him do the same. The interview, timed amid growing tensions within the royal family, feels calculated. With King Charles reportedly considering streamlining the monarchy, any scandal that questions Meghan's integrity could provide the leverage needed to address her titles once and for all. Stripping a duchess of her honors isn't done lightly, but Englason's revelations might just tip the scales, exposing cracks in the facade that have been papered over for too long. What makes this bombshell so potent is its layering of personal vendetta with broader implications. Engelson isn't just airing dirty laundry. He's hinting at secrets that could unravel the very legitimacy of Meghan's role in the royal fold. Questions about her pregnancies, long whispered in online forums and dismissed as conspiracy, now have a named source willing to go public. And then there's the dirty yacht past, a phrase that evokes images of lavish parties, high-stakes deals, and associations that clash with the polished image of a humanitarian. Engelson claims to have documentation, emails, and witnesses ready to corroborate his story. As the interview spreads like wildfire across social media, reactions pour in. Supporters decry it as bitter spite, while critics see it as the validation they've awaited. But beneath the noise lies a deeper truth. This could be the catalyst that forces the royal household to act, making title revocation not just possible, but inevitable. The timing couldn't be more precarious. Meghan's third marriage to Prince Harry has been under strain, with rumors of separate lives and professional divergences. Englason's threat to approach the royals directly bypasses the usual channels, putting the onus on Buckingham Palace to respond. Insiders suggest that preliminary discussions are already underway, with legal teams poring over precedents for title removal. If these exposures hold water, one palace source noted, it simplifies everything. No more dancing around public opinion. The facts would speak for themselves. As the world digests Englason's words, the stage is set for a confrontation that could redefine royal accountability in the modern era. A bombshell within the bombshell. Engelson affirms rumors that Meghan's first marriage wasn't to him, but at age 19, thrusting her carefully guarded past into the unforgiving spotlight. It's true, he confirmed in the interview, alluding to a brief, impulsive union during her college years at Northwestern University. Possibly a whirlwind romance that ended in annulment or was deliberately buried to preserve her emerging Hollywood image. Sources close to Engelson describe it as a youthful mistake, one involving a fellow student or acquaintance shrouded in secrecy for decades. Whispers of this early tie have circulated in tabloid circles for years. But Inglason's direct acknowledgement elevates it from speculation to a credible accusation backed by what he claims are insider accounts and potential legal records that could soon surface. The origins of this rumor trace back to fragmented anecdotes from Meghan's pre-fame life, where former classmates and acquaintances have hinted at a secretive ceremony, perhaps in a low-key setting like a courthouse, or even abroad during a study program. Engelson, who met her later in her 20s, reportedly learned of it during their own marriage, piecing together discrepancies in her stories that didn't align. She downplayed it as nothing, a source familiar with their conversations revealed. But it was a red flag, showing a pattern of editing her history to fit the narrative. Documentation, according to claims emerging from investigative reports, might include marriage licenses from California or Illinois public records, witnesses from her university days, or even annulment papers that were sealed to avoid scrutiny. These elements, if authenticated, would dismantle the portrayal of Meghan as a once-married ingenue entering the royal world with a clean slate. Instead, painting a portrait of someone with a history of hasty decisions and calculated emissions. The implications are staggering, reaching far beyond personal embarrassment into the heart of royal protocol. If proven through formal channels, it fundamentally questions her transparency during the rigorous vetting process before marrying Harry, a procedure designed to uncover any skeletons that could compromise the monarchy's integrity. Palace insiders suggest that such a revelation would highlight failures in background checks, potentially invalidating her seamless integration into the family and raising doubts about her suitability for public roles. Lies at the foundation erode everything, a legal analyst specializing in royal affairs noted, emphasizing how undisclosed unions could trigger reviews of her declarations under oath or in official documents. Moreover, tied to this are darker rumors amplified by Inglason's hints, a possible child from that early marriage, allegedly placed in an orphanage or given up for adoption amid her ambitions. A claim echoed in recent exposes that alleged Meghan's secret daughter as part of her erased past. This cascade of exposures could be the pivotal key to easing title stripping, exposing not just one deceit, but a web of interconnected fabrications that undermine her credibility. With Engelson threatening to provide evidence directly to the royal household, the pressure mounts for an institutional response, one that might finally sever ties to a figure whose history proves too tangled for the crown's polished legacy. As public reactions flood social media, ranging from shock to vindication, the story gains momentum, forcing a reckoning with truths long suppressed. Tied to the early marriage revelations are even darker rumors that have simmered in the shadows for years. Whispers of a child, possibly a daughter, who was placed in an orphanage or quietly relinquished to another family. Engelson, in his explosive interview, doesn't outright confirm these claims, but drops heavy hints, suggesting he possesses intimate knowledge from their time together that could upend Meghan's carefully crafted image as a devoted mother. "There are stories she doesn't want out," he remarked cryptically. His words laced with the implication that Meghan's past harbors decisions starkly at odds with the nurturing, family-oriented persona she projects today. Insiders close to Hollywood circles whisper of a pregnancy in her late teens, around the time of that alleged first marriage at 19, to a man variously named as Joe Giuliano or Joseph Goldberg Giuliano, a Boston-based figure whose family, according to unverified accounts, may have played a role in absorbing the child without formal adoption papers. These tales paint a picture of a young woman driven by unyielding ambition, prioritizing her budding career and acting over motherhood, leading to a heart-wrenching choice that left the child in institutional care or handed off discreetly to avoid scandal. The origins of these rumors trace back to online forums and tabloid leaks, gaining traction through social media echoes and anonymous sources. Recent reports from outlets like Radar Online and viral YouTube videos claim leaked birth records from 1995 point to a secret baby linked in directly to Meghan with no official trail to follow. Filmmaker Rory McIlroy has fueled the fire by suggesting in interviews that Meghan might be concealing a daughter from her pre-fame life, prompting widespread speculation that resurfaced in late 2024 and intensified by 2025. While mainstream media often debunks these as baseless internet fodder, the persistence of such stories, bolstered by alleged eyewitness accounts from Meghan's early Los Angeles days, raises uncomfortable questions about transparency. If true, this hidden chapter would contradict the seamless narrative of her life story from independent actress to royal matriarch, exposing potential fabrications in her biographies and public statements. If concrete evidence were to emerge, such as adoption records, DNA links, or sworn family testimonies, it could utterly devastate her reputation, transforming her from a symbol of empowerment to a figure embroiled in deception. For the royals, this revelation would represent a moral and legal minefield of epic proportions, accelerating demands for separation and title revocation. Constitutional experts argue that any undisclosed offspring could complicate lineage issues, even peripherally, eroding trust in the monarchy's transparency. This changes the game entirely, palace sources confide, noting that internal probes might already be underway to verify these claims amid growing pressure. Meghan's continued silence on the matter only amplifies the speculation, allowing the rumors to fester unchecked in the public domain. As Inglason's threats loom, the possibility of formal disclosures to the royal household could force a reckoning, pulling back the curtain on a past that, if exposed, might shatter the Sussex brand irreparably and provide the palace with the justification needed to act decisively. In this unfolding drama, the hidden child rumor isn't just personal baggage. It's a potential institutional earthquake challenging the very foundations of royal legitimacy. Diving deeper into Inglason's claims, the heart of his grievance revolves around what he describes as ongoing interference in his personal and professional life. Married to Meghan from 2011 to 2013, their union ended amid her rising fame on Suits. But Ingleson insists the separation was never truly clean. She keeps inserting herself, he revealed in the interview, detailing instances where business opportunities soured after anonymous tips surfaced or where mutual friends were pressured to choose sides. These aren't vague accusations. Ingleson points to specific emails and messages, some allegedly from Meghan's team, urging him to remain silent about their past. "It's like she's afraid of what I know," he said, his tone laced with frustration. This pattern, he argues, has persisted even as she's entered her third marriage, a fact he emphasizes to underscore her history of moving on while clinging to control. But why now? Sources familiar with Inglason's circle suggest a breaking point came recently when a potential Hollywood project, a series loosely inspired by their marriage, was derailed by legal threats from Meghan's camp. She claimed it violated privacy agreements, one insider explained, but Trevor sees it as censorship. This interference, Ingleson claims, extends beyond business into the personal realm with attempts to influence how their story is told in media retrospectives. The irony isn't lost on observers. Meghan, who has built a brand on empowerment and independence, is accused of stifling the voice of someone she once vowed to love. As these details emerge, they paint a picture of a woman unwilling to let go, even as she demands the world respect her boundaries. The broader context adds weight to these claims. Meghan's narrative has always emphasized her as the one who escaped toxic dynamics. Yet, Inglason's account flips the script. He describes a marriage marked by ambition that overshadowed partnership, with Meghan's focus shifting rapidly toward royal aspirations. She was always planning the next step, he recounted, hinting at conversations where her interest in high society connections predated Harry. This interference, he warns, must cease or he'll escalate. By threatening to contact the royal household, Ingleson positions himself as a whistleblower, not a scorned ex-palace. Watchers note that such a move could invoke protocols for handling external threats to royal integrity, potentially accelerating reviews of Meghan's status. Critics might dismiss this as sour grapes, but evidence suggests otherwise. Leaked correspondence now circulating in select media circles shows patterns of communication that align with Inglason's timeline. As the story unfolds, it becomes clear this isn't just about personal grudges. It's about exposing a pattern of control that could undermine Meghan's public credibility, making her vulnerable to institutional repercussions. Among the most explosive elements of Ingleason's interview are his veiled references to questions surrounding her pregnancies. Long a topic of fringe speculation, these doubts now gain mainstream traction through a credible voice. Ingleson doesn't detail specifics in the interview, perhaps saving them for a formal approach, but his implication is clear. Something about Archie and Leet's arrivals doesn't add up. "I've seen things that don't match the story," he teased, alluding to inconsistencies in timelines and public appearances. This echoes earlier rumors of surrogacy or staged elements, but coming from an ex-husband with intimate knowledge of her pre-royal life, it carries new gravity. Sources claim Ingleson possesses private communications from their marriage era that hint at Meghan's views on family planning, views that contrast sharply with her later public motherhood narrative. She wasn't always eager for children, one associate revealed, suggesting that her rapid pregnancies post-Harry raised eyebrows among those who knew her history. The questions likely extend to medical records or witness accounts that could challenge the official story. If Ingleson follows through, presenting this to the royals, it could ignite a verification process, scrutinizing birth certificates and lineage claims essential to the monarchy's structure. The royal angle is pivotal. Titles like Duchess of Sussex aren't mere courtesies, they're tied to legitimacy. Any doubt cast on the children's origins could prompt DNA inquiries or historical reviews, easing the path to title stripping. The household has protocols for this. A constitutional expert noted, if Ingleason's evidence holds, it removes the emotional barrier. It's about preserving the institution. As speculation mounts, Meghan's silence only fuels the fire, leaving the public to wonder what truths might emerge if pushed. Perhaps the most salacious of Ingleason's threats is his reference to Meghan's dirty yacht past, a phrase that conjures images of opulent excess and shadowy dealings. According to sources, this alludes to pre-fame escapades on luxury yachts where Meghan allegedly mingled with influential figures in ways that blur professional and personal lines. Ingleson claims first-hand knowledge, describing events where deals were struck amid parties that involved more than networking. It wasn't innocent, he stated, implying associations with figures whose reputations could tarnish her current image as a philanthropist. Rumors of these yacht soirees have circulated for years tied to her Hollywood climb. Insiders suggest they involved high-profile businessmen and celebrities with whispers of favors exchanged for opportunities. Ingleason's threat to expose this could include photos, guest lists, or testimonies that paint a picture at odds with her royal persona. "If I go to the household," he warned, "they'll see the full picture." This revelation, if substantiated, would not only embarrass but provide ammunition for those arguing her unsuitability for titles. The impact on the royals is profound. With public funding and prestige at stake, any link to scandalous behavior could justify swift action. "It's the ammunition they've needed," one commentator observed. As details trickle out, the narrative shifts from celebrity drama to institutional crisis. Ingleason's interview doesn't stop at threats. It systematically dismantles what he calls Meghan's fabricated stories. From her claims of a humble upbringing to her portrayals of past relationships, he accuses her of selective editing. "She rewrites history to suit her audience," he said, pointing to inconsistencies in interviews where her narrative evolves. Sources corroborate this, citing examples where early biographies gloss over turbulent periods, presenting a seamless ascent to fame. This exposure extends to her royal exit, which Ingleson frames as another fabrication. "She played the victim, but it was calculated," he alleged. By threatening to reveal correspondences, he aims to show a pattern of manipulation. For the royals, this could validate long-held suspicions, making title revocation a matter of restoring truth over myth. As Ingleason's interview reverberates, the royal path to stripping Meghan's titles clarifies. With exposures piling up from interference to hidden pasts, the household has grounds for action. It's easier now, insiders agree. With contingency plans in motion, the fallout could extend to Harry, but the focus remains on preserving the monarchy. In the end, this isn't just a personal feud. It's a reckoning. Inglason's stand forces a confrontation with truth, potentially reshaping royal history. As the world watches, the silence from Sussex speaks volumes, hinting at fractures too deep to ignore.